Hi there, James Michael here from the Shortlist. The Shortlist is a division of the Justified Talent Group, which is a specialised recruitment firm that focuses on recruiting sales professionals, particularly within the B2B sector. Over the last 5 years, we've seen in excess of 6,000 people applying for roles, and we've placed in excess of 250 of them. And as a result of that, and because of the assessment process that we use, a very clear benchmark has emerged which predicts somebody's likelihood of being successful in sales. And so here at the Shortlist, we're now making available to you an understanding of those benchmarks and an ability to take the people that have made it to your shortlist through our screening process to discern which of them is truly going to be the most successful in the role for you. So let's talk a little bit about what those benchmarks actually entail. There's a number of things that have really started to be very, very clear that are the imprimatur, the hallmarks, if you like, almost the DNA of people who are going to go on to be top quartile performers in B2B sales. Solution selling, challenger selling, relationship selling, whether it's selling services, whether it's selling products. There are a number of factors that have emerged as being very clear indicators. So number one, their response to stress. Let's face it, stress is inherent in sales roles. Right? Sales is the only role where somebody gets to get out of bed every single day, knowing that they are in a competitive environment, knowing that there is somebody else, somewhere else, wanting to knock them off their perch and for them to make the sale instead of you. And so, that's it. That's kind of, it's just embedded. It's known. As you get into the sales process itself, there are many opportunities and occasions where eventually somebody, the prospect, has, a likelihood of saying thanks, but no thanks, and moving on. And so, it's a very, very inherently stressful role. And what we found with those people who are successful in sales is they have a particular stress response. And so that's one of the things that we benchmark. What we also know, particularly in this day and age, and a point where technology is absolutely prolific. I mean, technology is in every single one of our lives every day, all day long. And so, there is a certain intellect that is also now required for salespeople to be able to navigate that world. Along with that, also, there's a need for them to be able to discern data about the marketplace, data about the organizations that they're selling to, the use of technology to get access to them, and so on it goes. So aside from, needing to understand whatever your product or your service is, just in the sales ecosystem itself, there is a much greater requirement for a certain level of intellect in our sales professionals today. There are a bunch of behavioral traits. Right. And so if I give you one as an example, something that we call motivational intensity in the world of psychology. So how motivated am I? How driven am I to, pursue goals and pursue objectives? Now, the fact of the matter is, you might be able to discern some level of that through an interview, but in reality, you're not going to be able to properly measure it, because somebody who is too goal driven, what we describe as being a goal-seeking missile, can cause collateral damage. They can be very off-putting. They can be somebody who is so self-focused on achieving their goals that they're not paying sufficient attention to the prospect's needs. And so, your ability to discern, well, just how driven is this individual? Yes, they need to be more than the average person on the street, but we don't want them so driven that they're kind of bending noses out of shape. Your ability to discern that in interview is almost non-existent. Similarly, something that we call manageability. What is the degree to which, yes, I'm going to follow policies and procedures and guidelines in the sales playbook, and yet at the same time, not be so rigid and adherent that I have no ability to be creative in the moment. That's something that you can only measure for scientifically. So there's a range of behavioral traits that we know lend themselves to somebody being successful in B2B sales. Another thing that we measure is quite simply the way in which their natural hardwiring lends itself to some of the fundamental tasks of sales, whether it's prospecting, whether it's opening opportunities, whether it's doing the discovery, and whether people are listening with intent and curiosity, and things of that nature. So, there's a very clear correlation between the things that I am naturally inclined to do and the way in which I'm naturally inclined to behave that will lend itself to success in performing those tasks. And then also importantly, what we're starting to see very much emerging now is a strong correlation between somebody's hardwired optimism and belief about themselves and their resilience and sales success. So there are a number of things that we here at the Shortlist will measure. We'll compare those with absolutely rock solid benchmarks. As I say, we've seen now in excess of 6,000 applicants coming through the parent company. So we've got a huge amount of data that we can compare against that allows us to be able to discern who in your shortlist has really got what it takes. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, feel free to wander around the website some more. Alternately, please do reach out to somebody in our team, use the contact us form, give us a call, and we'll be in touch with you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Cheers for now.